This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. Live market chat. Wednesday, Fed Day, July 31st, 2024. If I can get a mic check, make sure we're all good, I will start ranting and rambling going on. Again, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room. Link is in the description below. I appreciate all you guys. Hopefully you're having a good day. Man, market is sneaky as fudge, y'all. I know some folks who were just all in short going into today, and I'm like, good luck. I wish you the very best. And that's what the market does. I mean, even you saw Microsoft's earnings, you saw the overnight action. You're probably thinking, hell yeah, this thing is going to get destroyed. Look at the freaking Q's up 12 points today. SPY up 8. This is why this is hard, y'all. And again, this is why if you know the levels and you were trading some of these, especially tech, and you took profits, you're hanging in there. If you bought TLT, you're hanging in there. And if you are managing your positions, you're hanging in there. But if you're just all or nothing all the time and always all in, I don't know. It just, if you've been following the channel, you know there's traps, right? There's endless traps within the market, right? Got to be careful. You just got to be careful. And that's where sometimes it's like, it's not even always about evidence. Sometimes it's, again, if you've read Livermore's book, right? Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. We've talked about this. The market's just going to do what it's going to do to take the most amount of money for the most amount of people. And it's not logical. People aren't logical. The market's not logical. And so that's where I have so many people hit me up on the side and, people talking about this. And I'm like, you're trying to bring logic to a game that's meant to just, it's a probability-based game that's meant to take your money. Stop having this logical mindset of just, well, this has to happen because of that. And this, no, I've screwed myself more times than not thinking that same way. So if you have profits, you got to harvest them. Oh, but what if I could make more? Well, that thought is always there. Then you haven't really come to grip with the reality of trading. You've come to the reality that you think you're just going to get rich from that one trade or from that one moment. And it's like, no, build it like building a house, brick after brick after brick. And sometimes the bricks are cement blocks, and sometimes it's a new roof. And sometimes things work in your favor. But if you allow risk to just go unmitigated or uncontrolled, I have bad news for you, my friend. I have bad news. It's not good. So, all right. Yep. What's up, Eric? Had to take profit on shorts. Tell me with AMD, FOMC, Mag 7. Yes, exactly. Thank you. You couldn't put it. All of the earnings. Again, earnings is such a crapshoot. Would I love to just be all in short Apple? Rawr. Yes. Would I love to be all in short Nvidia? Rawr. Yes. But I look at the levels. I just can't. I can't. Watching the XLF hard as hell today. We'll go there in a second. No, you took the profits. You're looking good. Talked about this. You could have taken profits last week, or you took them yesterday. But again, if you stay 100% short, you greedy son of a biscuit. I mean, the thing goes from 136 down to 103, and it's everybody's favorite name. So we know there's people who are looking to buy the dip. Like, again, let's not be silly and stupid and just assume. Yes, we know the insiders can't sell it fast enough. But let's be honest, there's buyers at some point, right? There's discount buyers, people who think it's going to 200, going to 250. I mean, you throw the number on, it doesn't matter. That's what they're thinking, right? It's hard. I know. Managing emotions. And again, this is where, I even talk about this in my marriage group. Like, your emotions control your feelings and thoughts, and they're wired to your subconscious. And if you somehow think you deserve to win or deserve to lose or have some self-esteem issues, the market's gonna rip your insides out. Absolutely rip them inside out. Why? Because that's the thing. That's what gambling does, right? It's how you feel about yourself. People go, what the hell does that mean? Well, go deeper. Think about it, right? If you can't stick to your plan, what does that say about you? What does it say about you? So, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room. Link in the description below. Let's go through some house cleaning. Again, check out thetradingagent.com. I appreciate it. Again, this is the goal. Turn profits into properties and passive income. I don't know what else I can say. I try to keep it very simple. That's the goal here. Get your recommended reading. 3 books, literally. Keep up to date. Get your, I'm telling you, interactive brokers. I don't trust Schwab or any of some of these guys, but we'll see. Also sign up for the newsletter. Again, as soon as I get more than 100 people back, I'm going to start doing it every day. So I appreciate if you sign up. Mucho appreciate it. I'll drop it in the chat. Let me know. Again, if you have questions, holler. I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, you know, you give so much. And it's like, yeah, I do. I really don't mind. And until it gets too overwhelming, I don't mind. Live Zoom chat. You want to chat, hang out with me, let me know. Again, follow on the Twitter, posting all the updates if you're not in the Discord room. But again, join the Discord room. I'm telling you, it's well worth it. And it's interesting. A lot of people join, but they don't say anything. Okay, well, good luck. So we know going into July, right? Nothing. We did some meeting. I mean, it's like well, let's talk it up. Let's talk it up. No. September, obviously, the forward talk is the key. 1 rate cut, 2 rate cuts. 2 rate cuts, I'm telling you, if 2 rate cuts are coming in September, there is shit in hell to pay coming. Literally. That is not good, y'all. Because that means, again, that they raised rates, and the economy's flushing out. What it says, it's supposed to slow down, right? Slows down. That's what economic activity, higher interest rates are, slows down the borrowing and leveraging process within the economy. Not the feds, obviously, and the government. Geez, they spend like drunken sailors. But overall, again, housing slowing, commercial real estate slowing, you name it, business activity. It's interesting looking at Microsoft's numbers today. And again, like all these chips, you know, chips guys, a lot of these guys are like really, really excited about long-term AI. And it's like, man, they are overbuilding the absolute dog shit out of the chip sector. And guess what? As we talked about, it's going to be the inputs. That's the key, y'all. It's not going to be owning AI and the chips. It's going to be doing what? Right? It's going to be what? Owning the inputs. Go deeper. Go deeper. Bitcoin, as we talked about, big choppy range. Again, until the Fed say they're going to pivot, I don't think there's really much to say on this stuff. Like I said, I like oil and gas long term, but it's going to be choppy and sloppy. Demand destruction is real. Hopefully people believe that, right? If the economy is slowing, that's a real thing. Natural gas, again, to me, this might be like the gift of a lifetime. Like, will we ever really see dollar natural gas over time? Probably not. That's where it's like, man, if we get down there, going in. Again, do not hesitate to interrupt if you have questions. Posted this today, said watch the 15 to 120 area. I mean, 50 days right there on NVIDIA. I'm just going to wrap through everything I'm looking at real quick. TLT needs to clear. We're in the launch zone, but just be cognizant. 96 is a monster trend line. And there's another one. I don't know if that one 99 is. I think that's older. But it's the range. Like we've been in this channel. Y'all see it? You break over it with the volume, you know what's going to happen. VIX, chop, fizz, what a relief it is. Now, again, we know the feds are coming here shortly. So let me just talk about that, what to expect. If you haven't watched the videos. Again, I just assume people watch the videos, but then I realize I get the same 20 questions. Like, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? And I'm like, have you not gone to the back to basics? Oh, you haven't? Oh, well, there's a video on it. There's literally a video on every topic that I could think of. There's probably more I could be doing, but maybe you need to ask me that question. I have no problem doing that. Sorry, back to the VIX and what to expect. We know at 2 o'clock, the statement will come out. Market's going to be choppy. We know at 2:30, Powell speaks. Be careful. Honestly, I don't really think Powell, again, I don't think he wants to show his hand because as we talked about this, and this is me projecting, this is me trying to like think about probabilities. He doesn't want to like, again, unless he wants to get fired, I don't think he's going to do much. He's going to say much. He's going to say, we've got more data. We don't want to be political. We don't want to be this and we don't want to be that going into the election and blah, blah. He's going to try to say all the right things. They're going to ask him questions about the economy slowing. And they say, yeah, we'll probably figure it out in the next year. Blah, blah. All the same crap, in my opinion, that's been talked about. It's probably going to happen. I don't see any deviation from that, right? Anyone else see anything differently? Leave a comment. Again, chat, I don't mind. Hit me up in the Discord room. I'm curious. What does that mean? Again, I think honestly Thursday and Friday are way more important. Like let Apple, Amazon, MicroStrategy, Roblox, Cummins, US Steel. It's probably other ones. I'm just not going that deep. And then you have the jobs numbers on Friday. They're expecting 206,000. If you get back to that, that weirdness, of the, again, I don't believe the economic data. It's all part-time jobs, which is, again, that's not high salary, how we're gonna, unless everyone wants to work 3 part-time jobs, guess what? Like, that's not gonna sustain higher prices in assets in my time, in the near term, in my opinion. That's why I think you need a full, like, again, that's why you're seeing housing prices drop. You're seeing commercial real estate getting bludgeoned. You're seeing companies, again, you like going all in on AI to replace people, all right? And so they're going to be laying off people. Like, it doesn't, again, there has to be some sort of reset, rebalance. It's like the seasons of nature, right? We're in the fall or the winter, right? We need we need a reset of some sort. So VIX near term, I mean, this is what I'd be watching. If we hit the 14 level, holy shiznit, that'll be a gift. We might not though. That's the $1 million question. SPY, talked about this, just trading in a range, right? You gap up today, okay? Post this today, I mean, 20-day, I don't know, gap fill. I mean, you're 553. I mean, could we rip back to 5? And this is where, again, I don't know the answer. But here's the hardest part is I can't really act until the news. Because is it really going to do anything? And this is what I was trying to like explain to people who are like trying to short certain, like, is it really going to do anything till the Fed speaks? So that's where, again, if you layer in, you hold your line in the sand, you say, this is what I want to do or what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, you know, then maybe. But at this point, no. I don't really have an opinion, like what level. I'm just like, all right, this is where it gets interesting. Maybe the 50-day, maybe the 20-day. I don't freaking know. But am I going to act before the Fed meeting? Fuck no. Excuse my language. No. And if I miss some stuff, fine. So be it. That's fine. I'll likely be. All right, so cool. I'm glad, again, you guys are involved. Trying to think of like what else really you can. I mean, again, why is that so hard for people? Why is it so hard? Ask yourself, why is it so hard? What codependency do you have on the market to like make money always and try to be right? Because it's more of an ego thing. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm never wrong. Like, that's bullshit. Excuse my language. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't work like that. So I don't know. This is where I'm asking. Like, if you have real problems with the emotions and the thoughts of trading, reach out. Sorry, I didn't draw this. Forgot to draw. Like, look at this. Hits the trend line. Like, save, kick save. So what do we know about trend lines, right? If this is really a bull trap, kind of like the top is in, you want some sort of bounce. And people are like, well, what, you want a bounce? Yes, you got to trap in more people, but to get more, acceleration. Does this make sense? Like, I'm trying to like get people like, again, the more stretched it gets down, the more buyers are waiting and building up. So let the buyers like chase up, get trapped, and then get screwed to have to sell lower. Yes, you can be wrong a lot and make money if you're in the right mindset with risk management. Agreed. So think about it, right? All the shorts are getting squeezed here. Oh, if you shorted the last 5 days, essentially, you're like, what the fudge? Why not squeeze them a little more? Again, maybe, I don't know how much more. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know for sure. We got the levels, 50-day, 20-day. I don't know, somewhere around 470. I mean, you guess as good as mine. Like, again, the higher it goes, the more likely you want to add with defined risk. But here you go. Hits the trend line, stick save, bounce. Congrats. Okay. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. IWM, again, like a lot of folks are like, oh, I got a short. I'm like, just wait. I mean, love anything over 226. Maybe it gets 230. I don't freaking know. I don't. KRE, we were joking about this, with, on the side. Like, some folks are like, oh, I think it's going to dump. I'm like, why would banks dump until the Fed speak? Why? It's in the no doubt fail zone. Oh, it's above it, so it has to go. I'm like, man, you guys who trade in absolutes don't realize the amount of mental depth that you are wasting on absolutes. Think of the market as, and again, I'm not trying to be sexist, but like feminine energy, women, changes its mind. It's not sure, right? Like, does that bother you? Can you not handle dealing with that kind of energy? Is that something that bothers you? I mean, I'm okay with it. I love that about women. They have the right to change their mind at any point. Good for them. So does everyone else. Right? It's not a bad thing. It's just, again, think about what's so hard up here. If you're trying to step in before the Feds talk, who's really going to be selling? Because, again, think about all these people are like, oh, it's going to the moon. It's going to the moon. It's going to the moon. Look at the straight line move. Oh, I got to get more. Okay, maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But at this point, why would I try to be a hero? I've been a hero before. You guys who know me know the path. It doesn't really do well. You know? XLF, again, this makes sense up here, shorting. It makes sense. We talk about like anything down in the 8s, low 9s makes sense to me on the FAS. Any other questions, thoughts? If not, I'm just going to wrap through like I always do. And again, I don't know if I'll even do a daily market because it's one of those things like you have the Apple and Amazon earnings tomorrow after the close. We've talked about, Eric and I have talked about this for a long time. Like the Thursday after is usually the kind of the biggest game. Whatever happens today, it's just kind of more of a washout, and there'll be like a gap up or a gap down, and that usually is like a trap or the start of the move. And at this point, I don't know why the market would really go anywhere until Friday morning. Again, am I crazy to think that? Because that's what I've been thinking here. I'm like, today doesn't even really matter. Right? Whatever the Feds will say, it'll get run through the headlines as long as they don't say anything dramatic. Waiting for more information. Don't want to be political. Don't want to do whatever to like ruffle the apple cart. Then Friday becomes the day. Yeah, Friday is the jobs days. We know jobs on high-paying jobs have been cut left and right. Gold, don't trust it. I mean, again, I like it long-term, but do I trust it? No. Like silver just doesn't look right. I mean, I want to see gold with like, I don't know, when it breaks out, I want to see silver up $3-4 a day. And you're like, that doesn't happen. It's like, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. I'm like going way far back. Like, anyone remember this crap? I mean, here you go. I mean, you get it. Like, this is the thing. I mean, we're not even near the all-time highs, and so it's not even like close. So just, again, we know supply demand's a real thing, but I'm not chasing this. No. Again, people might have bought the bullback. Cool. I will wait for the Feds to pivot. Miner, same thing. Like, this will be the easiest trade in your life after the Feds pivot. Maybe this is the first stage, bottom, whatever. Big, sloppy, choppy. Good luck. Good luck. When it does go, let's see. I mean, this thing got IPO'd near the high and minor, but look at it. You can't really see it that well, but this was a solid move. Head and shoulders bottom, chop, chop, and then work your way up. In my opinion, I think, obviously, GDX, again, it depends on the number of shares and all stuff, but no doubt when we get over 44, it's going to, it has the potential to double and triple easily. I mean, that don't doubt that. But it'll be a great trade. I think that's the thing. It'll be a great trading avenue because if you've never traded like the JNUG, Peter Griffin, like this thing is just nutty, man. This thing is going to be absolutely freaking nuts. 12,000 up to 42,000. Oh boy. Get my point. You'll gladly just say like, oh, I just need to know the trend, overbought, know what's going on. Miners lead, gold lags, meaning like the miners will lead gold. All right, enough of that. Oil and gas, we like oil and gas, right? We like oil and gas if Trump is leading. Be careful. Do yourself a favor. When someone posts someone about a poll, ask them if you can see the sample size. Because anyone who believes KHA is actually leading, like zero. Like nowhere. I don't believe that for a minute. Maybe in like certain places, but states, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50-0 right now. Or 48-2. That's how bad. Again, whether you like DT or not, let's just be honest. Let's just be brutally honest here. Right? So oil and gas, again, as long as it holds the 140s, it's building a base in my opinion, because I think there will be more of an investment in it. We'll finally go back to realizing, like, again, electric energy, green, no problem with it. But there has to be a transition plan. It's not just cut off oil and gas. It's such a silly statement. All right, let's get into some of these tech names. Apple, the fruit. Again, gaps up, cool. even better. I mean, I honestly thought we'd get down here to 211, but maybe it does it on its earnings. Who the hell knows? But 10 Cuidado in front of earnings. Amazon, same kind of thing, chopping around the 100-day. It's like, there's some up trades here. Okay, holding. But into earnings, I don't know. Meta has earnings after the close. Oof, your guess is as good as mine. Guggenheim, this thing got baked on earnings. Man, 178 would be, I think, a dream to me. Microsoft rallying back, not surprised, right? Open, down. I mean, this could be a little bit of a capitulation near term. I mean, they could see it at 430. NDAQ, I mean, people are like, oh, you're stupid to short this thing. I'm like, no, I think this might be the easiest short ever, and the higher it goes, even the better. Look at the high volume at the highs on the NDAQ. I mean, again, the volumes will peak, and once they do, there's nothing left. And again, if they get bought out, then fine. So be it. That happens. But to me, it makes sense that it wouldn't, and nobody would want the hell to buy that stuff. MicroStrategy, and we know they got the split coming up. Expecting a bounce. Netflix, 100 days. I mean, it's like a reoccurring theme around here, right? Tesla, I mean, this is the thing. Like, this is a trading stock. Got to get over this 230s, mid 230s. And if it doesn't, well, then it's stuck. SMH, as we talked about this, the top was in, gets burned. Look at that. Like, this is what is so damn hard. If you didn't take any profits yesterday, you're just like, what? And this is what they're going to do. Squeeze you and make you think, all right, we'll get over 245, squeeze starts even harder, right? Intel, talked about 30 was a bottom potential area. Okay, cool. SMCI, homies in the Discord room talking about the same thing. 200-day, makes sense. Nvid, we already went over. AMD, pops on earnings, hits the 200-day, doink. Again, waiting for bounces. Micron, this thing we talked about, right? Love to see that. Yeah, exactly. Loved it. Talked about this thing just being oversold. Be careful. Here you go. Taiwan Semi, chop around, chop. Same kind of thing. 100-day. Look at these gap ups. I mean, they just trapped so many people. Insight had earnings. Again, I like this one. Let this one come down. I'm telling you, put this in your portfolio and let it disappear. Okay, gotcha. Yep. Mickey D's. Man, this is the short zone. But again, here you go. This is like the thinking. If the market's going to hold up, is McDonald's going to slam? No, but you got a reference. Starbucks. We talked about their earnings were absolute crap. Good. Nice bounce. Said the 100-day would be a gift. Watch it. Any other questions, thoughts? CCJ, again, like, you got to be out of your mind. I mean, I hate the Goldman upgrade at the highs, but we were at trend lines. So give me 2 seconds. I got to answer. Again, I usually don't do this. I have to answer a phone call. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. Put it on mute. Leave a comment below. I'll be right back. I promise. This will be shorter than can be. All right, sorry about that. I figured if I did not answer the phone call, it was going to ring 75,000 times straight because this person needs to get in touch with me. I need to give them some quick instructions. So I appreciate that. So if you have any questions, did anyone drop any questions? Probably not. Kind of quiet here. Yep, kind of quiet. Some new folks. Again, if you're jumping into the room, say what is up. So again, what should you be thinking about? Again, I think sometimes the simple stuff is the easiest way, right? The simplest way. Hey, what's up, damn Diggs? The simplest thinking is just, how do I make sure I don't get crushed? Like, I think sometimes people are like always trying to make $1 billion. Always trying to get rich. It's like, the man who survives will get lucky. The man who survives will get opportunities. It's the folks that are just all in all the time, trying to do everything crazy. Trying to think of anything else in my mind. Again, there's levels here. There's ideas. We know the Feds speak. Again, as I've said, I maybe, and this is me wishful thinking, I'd prefer to see the market rise before I start shorting more. I mean, I've got some positions and some things. I've got some TLT. I just got a few things. But I'm not going to try to be, come on, load. I don't want to be a hero. Maybe it's just as simple as the 20-day. Yeah, I mean, I don't care if Pelosi buys NVIDIA. I honestly think Pelosi buying NVIDIA could be a huge blow up in her face, because NVIDIA is trying to make chips for China. Well, if Donald Trump wins, again, whether you believe it or not, do you think he's going to want NVIDIA selling chips to China? China. No. So what are they going to do with all these China chips? Put them in the oven, bake cookies with them? I don't know. Like, think about it. Does that make sense? I don't know. And what price did she pay? I don't know. I don't. I mean, and this is me being a skeptic at some point. And again, we'll see if this ends up being true or not. I mean, how many shares did Pelosi buy? I'm just curious if I remember, because I saw the headline too. What if the market makers paid her? Again, I'm not saying like one market maker, but overall, it's like the bookies trying to rig a game just to say that she bought the stocks or the headline. I mean, that's what they want, is to manipulate the headline. Does that make sense? People are like, oh, you're a conspiracy. I'm like, no. You don't understand. If you don't understand, that's fine. But there are times, like, exactly, if you ever studied Kramer and you ever studied like how the market speaks at certain points, it can be very confusing because you've seen the opposite happen shortly after. And then you start going, well, if you go to the Discord room and you actually get into some of these, what is it, reference articles? Here you go. Think about it. Seek new ways of saying stuff through the mass media. I'm telling you, this is a real rule. Number 4, it is legit. People do, this is what happens. In order to buy and sell huge quantities of stock, exchange number will seek new ways to enhance their sell. Imagine if you're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars of NVIDIA stock, and all you said was, hey, Pelosi, I'll donate $100,000 to your campaign. Just buy some options and we'll pay you back. You can't lose. Does that make sense? Make sense? Anyone? Any questions? Kind of going quiet here. Isn't that unethical? Ha! Prove it. That's all that matters. They don't care. Hey, Nancy, go buy NVIDIA and we'll make Joe go away. Does that make sense? Like unethical. Like, again, the Congress, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like unethical. I mean, again, if they can get away with it, I mean, she's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Imagine if she's part of the system. right? That doesn't care. That's, again, always in place trying to get rich. Well, then, again, think about it. I mean, in even 2008, 2007, banks go belly up, guys get the golden parachutes, no one gets hurt, no one goes to jail. Nancy Pelosi can insider trade forever. I mean, is it right? No. Does it mean that they won't do it? Get out of here, right? Like, that's the sad part. Like, we can argue ethics all day. They're trading on a different playing field. Make sense? Makes sense? Yeah, it makes sense. So I don't know. And that's why I'm like sitting here and like, what? I mean, whatever. Sorry, I got a fly and then I got a text. And I apologize. Ask some questions though. I'd like to keep it rolling here. It's just for you guys. I appreciate asking any questions. Right? Just keep an eye on, again, going into the FOMC, right? Like the thinking in your brain. It's going to be volatile. Don't get caught in the whirlwinds up and down. Set some trades in. Like if you want to short certain levels, have those trades in. I'm telling you, like trying to act on the fly and watch the price. I mean, the price could move points in minutes, points in seconds, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Seriously. AST is a good stock to buy going into AST. So, all right, what's the logic behind ASTS? What is your thinking? Space Mobile. I mean, is that kind of a reoccurring theme or something? Based on the stock history? Where was that comment based off of? They're putting up 5 satellites. Okay. Well, here's the question you have to ask yourself. If you know they're putting up 5 satellites, and I know they're putting up 5 satellites, and everybody in the world knows they're putting up 5 satellites, is it priced in? Again, I mean, I'm not trying to be a skeptic and crap on your idea, but when I see a stock go from $1 up to 20, because they're putting up 5 satellites, is that priced in near term? I mean, again, if all is known, can you trust it? Get it? This is what I'd be curious of, number 6. If everybody knows it, are you really smarter than the market? Does that make sense? I don't know. Again, I'm sitting here trying to think about what is not already known about this stock. That's what I would just be challenging. Because it's like, you talk about, and I don't want someone to say I'm trying to attack them here, but this is the problem. Is like Flex LNG. Like I think we'll be natural gas exporters on a high level. Congress is buying it. They all know that. Stock goes from 4 up to 38. And it has to consolidate. That's the question you have to ask yourself. If it's not going to get bought out, is it already priced in? So when someone says, I need to ride that into September, my thinking is, I need to be scaling the fuck out of it, actually. I would actually argue the opposite. the higher it goes, the less I need to own. It's not that this is coming off some sort of base and the news isn't public, right? Like that's the thing, right? If it's news isn't public and it's basing for, here you go, a year and change. Okay. Then the news comes and it goes bonkers and it hasn't priced in, and now we got Verizon, AT&T, and all that. Got it. Well, clearly it's already been priced in. This is where, again, managing the position wise, I'm not going to ever, I would never, again, I mean, this is where this might sound hard. I would not recommend buying this at all based on just the formation. I'd be looking to scale out and then look to add dips if you really believe in the longer term idea that could climb higher. Again, I don't know anything. I'm just looking at reoccurring formations and thoughts and processes that I've seen a bazillion times, right? If everybody knows that it's going to be, they're putting up satellites and it's going to be Verizon, AT&T, yeah. Okay. Again, well, if they get a Department of Defense contract, I mean, that's the hardest thing, right? Think about it. Use your brain and step out of this and go, all right, we know all that's in. Well, what will keep people from not selling? A Department of Defense contract. Yeah, let's throw that one out there. I mean, Eric, you've been around. Some of y'all have been. How many times have you seen the market makers just, like, rumors just lie? Blue Horseshoe loves Anacots. Just, this AAIOI is going to the moon, right? This stock is doing, it's coming. And it just comes. But then it doesn't. But it prices in. And then it's like, whack. I mean, what if the value of the company with the AT&T Verizon deal is $10? At 20, maybe, I mean, again, this is me just speculating because I've seen this a bazillion times. You will get everybody and their mom to hold on to the stock if they keep saying DOD deal. It's the same shit with GameStop. Oh, there's going to be the MOAS. The mother of all short squeezes is coming. Don't sell, don't sell, don't sell, don't sell, don't sell. No, don't sell. Don't sell, don't sell, don't sell. Oops. I mean, again, and this is where I might seem like hypercritical, but I'm just genuinely scared. Because if the news is out, here's the mother of squeezes, and now you're going for more. I'm not saying you, but in general, like the market is trying to paint a picture that more is coming. Again, it's just wasted time and effort. Like, again, that's where AST, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if this is me, the more it's up, I'm like, less I'm owning it. I'm not sitting here going, it's going to be, again, the DOD. When the DOD thing comes, we'll see. But I do know big moves typically get digested. And if it ends up getting bought out, I mean, that's the thing. That's the risk you have to ask yourself. How slim is it? How real is it? Right? And this isn't, and sometimes you miss trades, but like, again, if I'm going back to a risk management based system where I'm not going to just assume things, right? There's always other trades. I'd look at this and I go, I should probably be taking profits. And maybe I'd leave some on because I'm like, the DOD is coming. But if I'm 100% all in all the time on this and just, again, I can imagine now that this thing is moved. There's a bazillion articles out there about what's going to happen. And you can feed your own narrative. Trust me. I've been there. I've done it. We've all done it. Oh, this is going to the moon. It can only go up. Okay. That's the hardest part, y'all. That is the hardest part. Because, again, 5 satellites. Okay. Again, numbers don't really mean much. Performance matters. And so now you have, to me, you have to get over 2042. If not, this could be a consolidation to get bashed. Well, here's the thing. What happens if Verizon and AT&T start struggling and they start lowering prices? Or people are just stop paying their cell phone? I mean, again, do you think they're going to expand in more? I don't know. I mean, these are all questions you have to ask yourself. And that's where you have to go, why don't I just take all that shit out of my mind and just be technical? Okay, Department of Defense contract potentially coming? Cool. I don't like here. Did they talk about it when it was down here? Because this is the big thing. Like, if that's always been in the back of the ground, okay, cool. But now all of a sudden in the last couple of days, now that's floating around, run. That's like the upgrade of Goldman at the high, or Goldman of CCJ, like at the heights. Like, there might be a little bit more upside, but run. That is called distributive disinformation, in my opinion. And you got to be careful of that. Because I've been caught in it too. Like, oh, wow, great. This is going to be awesome. Right? I mean, I love EXPI because I have so many like friends that own the stock, and they're like, oh man, it's gonna go. Like, we are the future. We are the future. Yeah, we are. We're growing. We're the third largest, maybe second largest, whatever. I can't remember, real estate company in the world. Okay. You don't know. You just don't know. I mean, here's my example. Like CCJ, like upgrading the highs. Goldman, upgrading the highs. Then it drops, and it comes back and rips a little higher. This is the question you ask yourself. Is the risk worth the reward? Okay. So they've been talking about the Department of Defense contract forever. Think about that. Like, that is going to keep people holding on. The only question you have to ask yourself is the risk worth the reward? Stock's up 1,000%, 2 to 20, 10 times. Do you want to just let it ride? Do you want to buy it now? I would absolutely say no. Fuck no. I'm not buying it now. I'm not saying it's going to run into September. Well, do you think the Department of Defense is actually going to really announce anything between now and the election? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are they going to be handing out big contracts? Maybe. Maybe not. These are questions you have to ask yourself. And this is where I don't read the news. Like, this is where the news will convince you of a narrative that is so sure. No, I have to step back and think about it from like a million miles away. Like, what's going on here? If the market is meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people, how does this play out? Well, if it's a long-term winning trade, we also do know that insiders, big boys, market makers are going to want to get some shakeouts along the way so that they can accumulate more, right? That's what they do. Accumulate low, distribute high. Now, how many times do you see just epic straight line moves forever? Very rare. And if they do, they happen over a couple days or a couple weeks, or it's a crazy short squeeze. But is ASTS like a GameStop? I don't know. Is it a Tilray? Remember that one? I mean, some of these names. Is it AMC? I don't know. Seems like it has a legitimate business, likely. Right? Man, look at this thing. I mean, this is where, again, the promise of unlimited gains that people just will never I mean, that's the thing, right? You're not getting the COVID liquidity yet. So, but since somebody's seen this before, they think this is what they think can happen to all stocks. Right? That's what they think happens to all stocks. Like, look at even Amara. Like, it goes up big, pulls back. You know, I mean, I don't know, $2.20, pulls back. Do you see what I'm saying here? Like, this is where you got to just be careful. I don't know where the high is, but this is a great topic. I appreciate you bringing it up because a lot of people. But this is what sucks, Josh. Competition isn't good for business. Competing against Starlink. What do you think Starlink does if they even sniff out competition? It's Elon Musk. They'll just compete. They'll lower prices. Again, that's why competition is not good. Oh, we're going to become competition with Starlink. Well, you're going up against a big dog. Better be careful. That's all I can say. That is all I can say. Yep. You just got to be careful. Nothing's guaranteed. Ooh, this is insights. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, we're about to get into the meat and potatoes. I see the market's kind of all over the place. Not surprised. Up into the earning. It's kind of like up into up into something. Yeah, thank you. Bless you, man. Again, I wish you the best luck. I hope that thing goes to 1,000. I hope it does. I truly do. I just don't. I have to talk through all the scenarios because as someone, again, none of y'all. I mean, this will show the age. Midnight. Remember satellite radio? Like, this is the thing. This is going to go in every car. I mean, this is when I started trading. Right? It goes from 3 up to 14. Rips up to 21. Rips up to 25. Gets cut in more than half. rips up. I mean, this is the nature of the beast. Satellite radio, no competition, right? Gonna be here comes XM. Okay, well then they merge. Okay, well they signed Howard Stern. No competition. It's gonna be everywhere. Then this thing called the internet. You just never know, y'all. See, I don't like it. The idea of a long-term stock, like you have to get in your mind. You don't, unless you know a lot about finance, this is where I would challenge you. No, exactly. I mean, I cancel my membership. I don't care. The thing is, like, every stock is not Amazon and Apple. And even if it is, they're going to have it's the same fucking, same moves that like even Sirius had. There's going to be big pullbacks. That's where, again, if you do have a winner, leverage the trend. Don't be naive. Think about small companies, say they make one mistake. Maybe they have to go to funding and they have to sell stock. Maybe they have to sell warrants. You don't know. You just don't know. Maybe management has to turn over. Maybe there's some value in somewhere else that they're making mistakes. You don't know. You don't know. But then here you go. You go read the news. And you go, well, I've seen Microsoft. And I see Apple. They've been great. But then people don't even realize even Apple or Microsoft story. Like, there was times where this thing was this is how, again, when there was a joke from like 2002 to like, I don't know, 2013. I don't know. I mean, when I think I stopped watching CNBC in 2014. I can't remember. And there was a joke. If you bought Microsoft, you're an idiot. No, and everything you're saying, Josh, it's like if you know that, I know that, everybody knows that, that's not inside information. That's what you guys have to be conscious of, right? The idea that a phone call into a remote area would be called to a satellite instead of a cell tower, is that some sort of proprietary technology? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing it's not. If you want remote cell service from a satellite, it's not proprietary. That's just me guessing. I mean, it could be stupid and wrong. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. It's the same thing that, again, we have Starlink at a property. It's easy. It's simple. More competition in that doesn't necessarily mean like it's going to be great for the companies that are coming in. That's the hardest question you have to ask yourself and wrestle it. Like, will the stock go from 2 to 20, go up to 40? Or will it pull back half, a quarter, a third before it makes its next move? That's the question. Like, those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Yeah, Apple's going to be doing, everybody, that's the thing, right? No one's going to discount that is important, right? Nope. Just, again, I would trade around it. I would not be buying it at 20. That's my biggest thing, is saying it's a buy into September. Well, it's already up 1,000%. That's hard. That's hard for me to stomach. Because again, as someone who's a risk manager first, like I'm more concerned about losing money than making money. Like I'm not going to chase something. Does that make sense? Right? Like, but here's the thing. Every stock, right? Like even Nvidia, people were like, why were you so gung-ho short about this name at some point? Right? It's like, okay, you get stopped out, fine. This shit makes me want to drool shorting. Again, it's like, because everybody and their mom knows it. There's nothing not known, right? Then it goes, boom, comes back. Drops, 140 to 104. You know it's coming, you just know it. Right? Everyone's all in. Everything's known. It's like AI, this is the AI chip of the future. Okay, you got it. You got to be careful again. This is where I love this stuff, because the mindset, because this is the hardest part of trading. Like you're going to get burned at some point pretending that every stock is going to be like GameStop, AMC, pulls in NVIDIA, semiconductor. Again, when you see how this plays out into the next rotation, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Again, I just never expected tech to get the same pump with higher interest rates. Like it just didn't make sense. That was the hardest thing. I think that was the hardest thing for me. And again, I have no problem being vulnerable. Like, tech typically doesn't do well with rising rates. So for the last like 6 months, I mean, I'd say even start, like, this doesn't make sense to me. And again, I know they're expanding and they're going to build a ton of chips. We know that, right? It's like they're going to build a ton of satellites. We know that. What price, when does the market, when does everything kind of play out in a position that goes, uh-oh, spaghetti-o, all is known, all is well, all is great, they better execute. Or all is great, they better execute, oh crap, here comes endless competition. Those are the questions you have to yourself. Because not every stock is Microsoft, Google, Apple, shit, even like Costco, like just kind of done execute so well that competition just gets blown out every time. There's somebody smart out there. Somebody like you, me, going, you know what? Right? Right? Like, does this make sense? Does this make sense? Oh, man. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, I appreciate this. Just be careful. Again, I'm not trying to poop on winners. This is the hard thing. Like, when I see a stock up 1,000%, I've been there. I'll sell half and just be like, all right, that's my like fake position. Like, I can't lose now if I've made 1,000% or a third or whatever. And then I go, all right, well, I'm going to have the discipline to only buy dips. Only buy dips. Because we know at some point they will happen. And then when I buy that dip, I'll put a stop in like any other stock and go, okay, better prove it. That's where trading becomes so simple. Like, take the names out of it, take the emotion out of it, take everything out of it. That's how you win. You're guaranteed to win. Again, it's like Livermore. Are you more concerned about winning, or are you just more concerned about like just ego? Like, oh, I've just got to be right, and I've got to do this, and I got to be able to predict the price action to a perfection. The news hasn't come, so it has to go to 50. I'm just talking hypotheticals, just in general. Like, people, oh, it's going to 100, it's going to 1,000, it's going to, you know what I mean? Like, and that's where people's minds start marrying the narratives versus probability based, and then all of a sudden, emotions take over, rational thinking goes out the window, and what do you have? Either get lucky and it gets bought out, or it goes in a big round trip and you go, fudgesicle. I bought it at 2, went to 50, and now it's back at 4. What do I do? Crap. Or I bought it at 2, went to 40, now it's at 10. Shit. Could have taken profits and traded other things and done some other things and had a lot of fun and taken some profits and paid myself and paid some taxes and just really use that money to be other places to make money and buy properties, whatever the hell it is. But no, I just sat there and I pulled a GameStop, right? I just bet on the never-ending squeeze because there's a rumor of something coming always. MOAS, the mother of all short squeezes, right? Like, think about that rumor. If you bought that in 2020, you just sat here and then you probably did it again because now you're conditioned just to hold it. Dangerous. So, hey, I appreciate you guys. Hit me up if you want to chat. Again, anything. Again, if this topic concerns you and you want to chat, I mean, again, this is with the Coulling link. Hit me up. I mean, until I get so busy I can't help folks, I'm going to just continue to offer this for free. And maybe I don't ever get that busy because, again, people are looking for certainty. And if you're looking for certainty, I'm probably not your guy. I'm looking for honesty. I'm your guy. I appreciate it. Yep. What a man. You got to use stops. Always another trade out there. Not if you go broke. Booyah. Booyah. All right. You guys have a great afternoon. Next 5 minutes, men, they're not going to announce anything. And then 2:30, expected volatility. Put your prices in. Put your levels in. Know your stops. That's what I need to do over the next couple of, I've already got some stuff in, but I'd like to watch it with a clear mind, not being distracted by the chat. So hit me up if you have questions. See you in the Discord room. Peace out, my brothers and sisters. Later.